Hi everyone, welcome into this week's My Weekly CBS Fix. I hope you had a wonderful week. This week's Parsha is Parshas Tetzaveh. It is also tonight the holiday of Purim. So let's just share a few ideas, maybe try to connect it to as well. So the Torah says at the beginning of the Parsha, Va'ata tedaber el kol chachmei lev. Hashem was speaking to Moses and telling him that when it came to the priestly garments which were going to be made for Moses' brother Aaron HaKohen, so the garments had to be made by those that were chachmei lev, those that were filled with Hashem's spirit. Now, the term chachmei lev is an interesting term, wise of heart. It's not wise of heart, it's wise of mind. Well, wise of heart, what does wise of heart mean? The heart's over here, the chachma is over here, a person's wisdom is over here. So to understand this, we have to understand a fundamental understanding of what chachma is, of what wisdom or intellectualism is that when you are enlightened by a certain book, and that book is supposed to have an effect on you. So just for it to remain up here and not allow you to then internalize it and put it into practice, you kind of missed the boat with that. The purpose of it to learn something is to not just go, wow, that's pretty amazing concept. Let me go back to my life and not connect that at all to my life. No, it has to be chachmei lev. You have got to go from here to here, and then eventually from here to your actual actions that you do. It's got to be an internalistic understanding, not just a brain, a physical understanding, but you got to internalize the message as well. When it came to the different kalim, the different vessels that were made, whether it was the aron, the ark, whether it was the shulchan, the table, or whether it was the mizbeach, the altar, they were all made of wood. And the Torah says it should be made of wood, and then you should cover over the wood with gold on the inside and the outside. So the question is, if Hashem wanted it to be made of wood, why then cover it with gold? Just make it out of gold. If the wood is the important part, why are we covering it? So we have to understand that when it comes to Torah, and this is what all the different vessels of the temple stood for, of the tabernacle stood for, that the idea is to see beyond the surface, is to look at the value of something that's more internalized, that's there. Hashem said that it's the wood that's valuable, because wood is compared to Eitz Chaim, which is the tree of life, which is Torah, but you also have to adorn the Torah, and you have to make it look nice. You have to certainly put gold, but don't connect specifically with the gold, but try to go beneath the surface, see what's beyond there, and try to connect like that as well. So the messages of the entire Mishkan is look beyond the scope of what's there and internalize and go a little deeper in surface. We know that with people as well. Don't look at the person's body, who they are externally. Go to the internal. Everybody has a soul, and that's really what our focus should be. Now, the story of Purim is a story where everybody knows that we celebrate with the masks, and the entire story was masked by Hashem, and Hashem was behind the scenes. And the avoda on Purim, our service to Hashem on Purim, is that we have to take the mundane, we have to take with the usual humdrum of life and try to see how everything is actually the hand of Hashem. And Hashem is really the puppeteer in the background, just pulling the strings of life. And we have to be able to see that. That is nothing just happens happenstance. Purim is the opposite of Pesach in a certain sense. When we celebrate the story of Passover, we're talking about a bunch of amazing miracles that happened in front of everybody's eyes, and nobody doubted it had to have been God that did it. Purim is the contrast to that. The service of Purim is to say, Hashem, I know you're there, and I'm going to look beyond the scope of the external, what's there. Our focus should try to be on the internal happenings behind the scenes. And of course, then, if you're going to be a chacham lev, what are you going to do? You're going to only do that on Purim? No, the idea is to be a chacham lev. It's not just to be a chacham and learn about the story of Purim and become the story of Purim, but rather allow it to attach to your heart that not only on the day of Purim you should realize that Hashem is behind the scenes. Take that with you throughout the rest of your life, throughout the rest of the year, throughout the rest of the month. Internalize something. Try to look for Hashem in smaller pockets and throughout different segments of your life. This week, and then you'll do it the next week, and then you'll do it again. You have to start internalizing this message that Hashem is really there the whole time. And of course, this is always this world right now is a darkness of Galus, the darkness of the exile, and that's where we're supposed to see Hashem. The menorah and everything else it stands for, the light, is eventually the future light when Mashiach will come, and then everything again will be openly and revealed to us. But right now, Hashem wants us to be in this exile. But our service in this exile is not one of, oh, we're here, there's no way to serve Hashem. No, this is the way to serve Hashem. This is what Hashem wants for us. You should look at every single thing in life and be able to find Hashem beneath the surface. So that's my blessing to you. You should be able to see Hashem beneath the surface. You should be able to be joyous through doing so, as the holiday of Purim mandates from us that we become joyous. And we have to drink wine. When you drink wine, out comes the secrets, but out comes your internal. You get to see who you really are, your true colors. So if you're not happy with your true colors, you got to change them. So internalize this message, hopefully. Internalize other messages. Thank you for listening. Have an amazing Shabbos. Have an amazing Purim. Talk to you next week.